Hello, welcome to Nerd Variety Podcast. This is the show where we talk about nerd variety things, a variety of nerd things and podcast things. And I am today's list. Well, it's not a list. We don't do lists right now. I am today's content creator. No, the subject creator.
The instigator.
Yes. And I am a co-host.
Idea person.
What?
Idea person.
Yes, idea person. I'm the idea person. And I am just one co-host today. Right now, my name is Hunter, but that may change soon. I don't know. And I am joined by the lovely Josh Davies.
Hi, I'm here.
The loveliest.
Feeling lovely on this
and
Monday.
Also lovely, Ms. Hannah Hogan.
You don't have to say it like it's painful. Also lovely.
I had to. That just kind of went with the flow.
And excuse you, I'm Mrs. Hannah Hogan.
That's what I said.
All right.
First of her name, the lovelier.
The lovelier.
Loveliest. It's the
Lovelierist. I'll accept lovelierist.
That's not a word.
Well, I accept it anyway.
Anyways, today we kind of scrambled a little bit in the past week since Hannah has been putting off figuring out a topic.
I can't think of a topic. I'm not the idea person.
So the one that I was going to do this week, we have pushed till next week. And this week we are talking about actors that we have changed our opinions of over time, whether it's due to personal reasons, like their personal lives, maybe our personal lives. I don't know if that happens as much. Or it's just certain things that they've been in that have just maybe ruined it for us, ruined them as an actor for us. Now, just before we start, I want to say that I'm a hard person to really... I tend to take artists like actors and anybody that creates art like this. I tend to look at them more just based on their work, and I try to separate that from a lot of their personal lives. But some people, it's a little more difficult for me with, especially more and more as I go, and more as people do worse things. So yeah.
Yeah, as their behind the scenes life and their personal life start popping up more, and you're like, I don't think that's something I can fly with, or I'd rather see. I didn't want to know all that, but now I do.
Yeah,
I agree, but I don't have any of those on my list. I might think of some.
Yeah, some should come up.
Probably.
There's at least one or two.
I just am. I as much as I haven't been on stage in years, I do still consider myself an actress, like on the inside. And so for me, these are the ones I have on my list are more about acting ability. Excuse you?
That explains so much about you.
That I consider myself an actress on the inside?
Yes.
Yeah, I am. Well, I'm an actress on the outside too. Believe me, teachers are actresses. I am not as happy as my students think I am.
Fair.
Especially not all the time.
But yeah, also again, Hannah, I'm kind of with you there, as someone who studied film and acting and all that stuff. I definitely judge actors very harshly on performances.
Yeah.
So that's why that's a thing for me too. But yeah, who wants to start today?
I'll start.
Okay.
I have one. This was just the first one that popped into my head when I thought about actors I've changed my mind about is Zac Efron.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, I probably mentioned it. And basically it's because I was in middle school or maybe even elementary school. I don't remember when High School Musical came out.
2006.
2006. Yeah, okay, so I was 11. And everyone I knew was like, I know I'm a little young, whatever. Everyone I knew was obsessed with it and like wanted to watch it all the time and knew all the songs. And I've always been a little bit of an anti-conformist, and I'm struggling still to not be that. But there was definitely a part of me that was like, I don't like this because everyone else likes it, right? And I felt that way for a long time and still feel that way a little bit.
I get that.
Also, as an adult, I'm just like, this is dumb. But then I saw Zac Efron in The Greatest Showman and was really like, going into it, I didn't want to like him. I did not want to enjoy his performance. I didn't want to like appreciate him as an actor, but he did really, really well. He was a really good character. He was an amazing singer. And I was like, damn it. I like him. He was good.
I'm with you on that. I didn't really know him though. Like I didn't know him at all. But I watched the movie with I watched Greatest Showman with Courtney, and I think when he came up, I'm like, who is this guy? I feel like he's maybe vaguely familiar, but I don't. I have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
And she told me, I'm like, okay, that sounds maybe Disney Channel-ish.
Yeah.
Because I never got into Disney Channel stuff. That always seemed, I don't know, too stupid to me.
I wasn't ever much into it either, except Kim Possible. Because Kim Possible's great. But
sure. But yeah, I agree. I really think he did a great job in Greatest Showman.
Yeah. And then I'm also consider myself a vocalist and have had some vocal training. And so he was legitimately like pretty good. So yeah, changed my mind. I like him. I'd like to see him in more musicals. And I hate myself for it, but it's fine.
Again, I saw him as the pretty boy lead. Everyone's like, oh my God, Zac Efron. And then also had those roles in those movies where he was the annoying, obnoxious neighbor for that married couple. So I saw him like, okay, he's gonna be doing these types of movies now. But again, like Ken said, I saw him in Greatest Showman. I saw he was doing some role in he had a Netflix series. And I think a lot of people saw him for, he's kind of grown up. He's not, the person. He's not that, Disney Channel actor slash, wannabe comedy actor.
Slash
he's got a good range. He's pretty fleshed out.
Yeah, he's learning. He's getting better, growing up.
And Josh, I don't know if there's anything you can do about this at this point, but you're a little staticky right now, at least on my end. And that's you. But I don't know if there's anything you can fix. It wasn't like that at the beginning, so I don't know if it's just internet troubles. Just thought you should.
I'll see if I can fix it.
Okay. Well, while that's happening, we'll just give him a second. I'll go on to mine. So my first one. Actually, I did just think of a second one after we started recording. But the one that kind of sparked my interest in this topic, my want to do this one, is Elliot Page.
Oh.
I came out last year as trans, and
I'm really glad we talked about this on Friday, or I would have no clue who you were talking about.
Yes. So like I've always kind of disagreed with this to an extent, because I've for the longest time I would have disagreed about about liking an actor or someone just because they fall into like a similar category as you. But for me, it's just, I know that I'm really happy to see, to know that there's now going to be such a big name, I think, is now out as transgender and is going to be bringing that representation with them.
Yeah.
Because they're changing like all his credits. I think Netflix said they were doing that. I don't remember exactly. But somewhere I think I read that they're changing his credits in previous films and stuff to put Elliot Page instead of Ellen. So I'm just, yeah, that's something that I'm really happy about, and I'm excited now really to see where he goes going forward, and what kind of roles he gets, and if that changes anything. But and in the same place, I'm happy that that it means, and they made a statement with Umbrella Academy that they are not changing his role, and I think that's good, to an extent, to not make it about, not make their job, their career, just about that, but to give them a variety of things that they can do. So,
because not to go back to our representation of media conversation that we've had a few times, but
we should always go back to that.
But we should. But there's like a difference between, and in the early days of film, there was there was sort of like the token female character was the thing at the time, right? Like the character's whole personality is wrapped up in like, that's the female who's in the movie. And we finally gotten to the point where women aren't treated that way, but now people of color are treated that way, and people who are LGBTQ are treated that way, where it's like, oh yeah, like we have this show and his personality is that he's gay. And like, that's his personality, which is not how people work.
There are some shows where one that I can think of in Big Mouth, they draw attention to that. Like in one of the episodes, I think it's in season 1, they're like, because like there's this one gay kid, and it's like, yeah, you're the gay kid, right? It's like, I have more going on than that personality trait. You're gay and you're mean. Like that's who you are, right? So, I have other stuff. And he goes on a whole thing.
So the fact that they're not changing Elliot's role is cool, because they're sort of trying to make sure they're not doing that, and making it so that being transgender is not the character, right? But that's just a part of the character, because that's just a part of anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool. I'm not super invested. Obviously, I don't have as personal connection as you do to this one, but I definitely think it'll be interesting to sort of keep an eye on, because I feel like Hollywood is so, like, still struggles so much with diversity. It'll be interesting because Elliot is already like in the thick of it to see how that happens. Because I feel like for the most part, you have people who are transgender not being able to make it as far, but like Elliot's already there. So like Elliot's already,
honestly,
Elliot's not a household name yet, probably. But
yeah, and I mean, of course, when I've mentioned it to other people, they're like, "Who?" I'm not sure I know who that is, and because I'm trying to explain to other people who he is without dead naming him.
Right.
You could. How do I sound?
Oh, you sound much better. Yeah.
Okay. You could say formerly known as Ellen.
Well,
Page,
I
because
wanted to just say the actor formerly known as, or the artist formerly known as Ellen, but
yeah. Well,
I still
honestly,
think it's better not even to bring it up.
Yeah.
Or saying they played because they did play Kitty Pryde in the X-Men
That's
movies.
what I've done.
I was gonna say, that was what clued me in, because I was not aware until you mentioned it when we were hanging out on Friday. But you mentioned they were in the Umbrella Academy, and I know actors well enough to be like, wait a second, hold up, and then I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, he was in Umbrella Academy. Is still.
Yeah.
They're in some of the X-Men movies, obviously. They changed Kitty Pryde, I think, after X-Men 2, because I think X-Men 2 was not him.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I think 3 and then Days of Future Past.
Paige showed up in just 2 of them, but did a really solid job in those movies, and that's what and also had a stint in some indie movies as well. Yeah. And I kind of think before their transition, I kind of fan casted them as a Batgirl. I don't know if y'all could have seen it back then, but I kind of saw it. I was like, oh, that would be cool. I could see that. But
I didn't exactly. That's not how I perceived them. But I also
Yeah.
do really like them in. It's a great game. If you haven't played it, I would recommend. If you like story-driven games, Beyond Two Souls.
Mm.
They were the main character in that, and they were really good. That was an
Yeah.
interesting game.
Yeah. Okay, clearly this Elliot Page thing is a big deal, but we spent like 10 minutes on it. I think we should
You're
move
right.
on.
You're right.
Yeah.
Josh, do you have one?
But Josh just
Yeah.
got his stuff working again. So.
Yes, I'm back. I can contribute now. I will have to kind of pair two actors because they're playing because of their one big role as playing Batman. That would be Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I didn't like Affleck when he was cast as Batman in 2013. I was very against it, and I was just really unsure. It's like, this is dumb. Why him? But then I saw he worked with what he was given in Dawn of Justice and Justice League, but he was, so those movies were rough around the edges, but he did a good job, and he did. Looking at some of his other work, he does kind of show a good bit of gravitas, a good bit of commitment to the role. That I was like, okay, I can respect that. And he does have his issues with some alcoholism and some other stuff, but I still see that talent in the midst there. And the same thing with Robert Pattinson. I saw him as the token like pretty boy Twilight actor, but now looking at, okay, he's more than that role. He's been doing a lot more things since then, a lot of indie dramatic stuff, and seeing him in the Batman trailer, it was like, okay, all right, this guy can act. He's got the chops to do more than just hey.
So basically, your Robert Pattinson is your equivalent of my Zac Efron.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, him and Ben Affleck are like, okay, all right, I can work with this now.
Yeah,
this
like they
cool.
were. Well, Robert Pattinson specifically was sort of this like teen heartthrob for a while there, and then like this one note character, and then has been showing that he's capable of a lot more.
Was Ben Affleck not like that at one time?
I don't know enough about Ben Affleck, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben Affleck was he had played some kind of like, he's or I guess some kind of tough guy characters. He was in Daredevil, the movie there, so he was, I guess he got a lot of flack from that role. Well, but it seemed like it seemed like he's been putting his foot out there, or put himself out there and trying these roles out. But
of course, he was in
sometimes
Good Will
it don't always
Hunting,
work
right?
out for him. Yeah, he was in that. Yeah, he did a good job. He did a good job in that too.
And also just if you're looking for Ben Affleck stuff, did you see what was it? Was it The Town? The Town that he was in a few years back.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that? If you haven't seen that, it is a good movie.
Yeah. It's been a while, but yeah, I remember seeing it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I really liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought he played that role well. I'm really excited to see Robert Pattinson. That's another one though. Like him, for me, he's kind of the same as Zac Efron for me. I didn't necessarily have strong opinions about him. I knew he was in Twilight, but I'd never seen it. So that's where I'm like, I mean, I would want to judge him. I want to judge him fairly on his acting skills, but I've not really seen him in much. I think the only thing I've seen Robert Pattinson in is, The Devil All the Time, which just recently came out this year, and I liked him in that. But there's also, I hated his character, but he's a hateable.
That's good though. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
For an actor to be hated for their character. Yeah, that's great.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But I remembered him from Goblet of Fire.
Mm-hmm. In which, again, he was a very one-note, like, Cedric, basically, like...
Yeah.
Didn't do us Hufflepuff's justice, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, he did a good job for the role, I thought.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, Robert Pattinson was fine, but, like... And I think that he had the same problem as Cedric and as... whatever the guy's name from Twilight is, I'm blanking. Is that just, like, the writers didn't give him enough to do? Right, like literally, he just didn't have much screen time as Cedric, and the writers of the Twilight series, the movies in general weren't great.
Yeah, they didn't know how to give him a personality in either roles, but he did work with what he was given.
And I read the books. I read all the Twilight books, and the movies could have been better, but even the books were like not great.
Yeah.
So yeah, he didn't have a whole lot to work with there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I'm looking forward to Batman. I will try to put old biases aside.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Hannah, did you have another one?
I do, and I feel like I might get some hate for this one.
Hate.
Yeah. I have changed my mind about Johnny Depp.
For the good or the bad?
For the bad, but not much. Josh, what?
I'm bracing for what you might say because we got a lot of.
Okay, now I know he's had some things. So I know, hasn't he had some things in the media recently?
Well, he also
between him and
he was also on video
his,
like beating his wife, right?
Yeah, maybe. I wasn't gonna get into all that. Let's just start with that.
Okay.
Wasn't gonna get into all that. I'm still talking purely about acting ability.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm just not well enough informed to talk about that. Should get that out there.
That's fair.
Okay.
In terms of acting ability, Pirates of the Caribbean came out in 2003, so I was 8, and it to me is still like one of the greatest movies of all time. I truly think it's a masterpiece. It's funny, it's action-packed, it's a little bit romantic, it's a great story. Like, I love everything about that movie, including Johnny Depp. I really love his performance. But as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy, Johnny Depp, who plays this character, is amazing. He's one of the best actors in the world. I've never seen anything like this before. And then I started watching more of his stuff, and I'm like, all these characters seem kind of the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my husband and I have talked pretty extensively about actors and about how there are some that like you don't even really know who that actor is because they just melt into every role they are, and every role they play is so different. But then there's some actors who are cast because of who they are, right? So people like Johnny Depp, he's cast for being Johnny Depp, for being like this kind of weird, like he looks a little weird and he acts a little weird and he just has like this sort of mannerism. Like everything he's in, you can tell he's Johnny Depp, right? And Jim Carrey's the same way, right? I love Jim Carrey, but he's very much Jim Carrey, right? In every movie he's Jim Carrey being a character.
Yeah, there's a
right?
lot.
He doesn't. Yeah, it's very common, right?
Yeah.
So just as a kid, I felt like Johnny Depp was amazing, and I'm like, he is really good, but I have a little bit less respect for him as an actor, just because I can still tell it's him in every movie.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I still try to look for roles where I'm still looking for, a role that he gets in, and it's like, okay, this is him doing his thing, but he's also, blending in with the role. Yeah. And I think he's had a problem with that ever since, he did good in Pirates. He did good as Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
But after that, it's just been like, okay, find, I haven't seen Fantastic Beasts 2. So I don't know how that was. I mean, I've been looking. I think he could play a good villain, and I'd like to see how he did in the second.
He was good. He's not, what we really wanted.
They didn't give him a lot of screen time, I don't think.
No.
In the second.
Okay.
No.
But,
and I have seen him in a few dramas.
And you will not see him again as Grindelwald.
No. No.
No.
I have seen him in a few more like dramatic things. And he's been good. But I feel like.
Sorry, was he in What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Yes, but I haven't seen that.
He was. Yeah.
So he has been in some dramas, and I appreciate what he does there. But I feel like if I'm watching a movie with him in it, I'm watching it because it's Johnny Depp and not because like the story is good. If that makes any sense, I'm like, I'm looking for Johnny Depp and like that particular character.
Yeah, he was in the original 21 Jump Street. So I think that would be a good place to look to see pre-Pirates Johnny, like in his like youth, and seeing how he is as a character.
Wait, there's plenty of stuff pre-Pirates. Like he was also in Edward Scissorhands before that.
Yeah.
After Pirates, I believe he was in I don't know. This movie has taken a hit from me. Like I loved it for a bit, and then like last time I went to watch it again a couple years ago, or maybe it was last year. I don't know. And I was like, okay, not Edward Scissorhands. I just said that. Sweeney Todd. I was like,
I thought you might be saying that. Yeah.
like, okay, it's all right.
Sweeney Todd is interesting. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I think
But
I
it
like
might
the
be-
story better because I have the
Okay.
story. I have actually I think I have the Penny Dreadfuls and it's in there.
Yeah. I've seen most of that movie. I covered my eyes through probably a fourth of it.
Oh, it's not that bad.
I was like 16 at the time. I was like, ah, no.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still respect him as an actor for the most part, and I love what he does, but he is typecast in a lot of things, and so I'm just like, yeah, maybe not as good as I thought he was.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. A lot of actors are typecast. So.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. Is it me?
It's your turn.
Yes. Okay. Cool. I didn't want to interrupt you like I always do. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah. I figured for once I'll be nice.
I'll
I'm
take
still
what I
trying
can
to
get.
figure it out. So this other one, this is one that I apologize if. Well, you should be used to it by now, but I apologize if my thoughts aren't super clear and concise right now, as I'm kind of formulating my thoughts as I am speaking.
Okay.
So, another actor that, an actress actually that this was really recent with was Kristen Stewart.
Oh.
And I totally forgot her name when I saw her in this movie. Like, I'm like, I know that she's like a famous person. She's been in stuff. Not really anything that I've seen, I don't think. But
Do you know what she's most famous for, though, right?
Yeah, she's in Twilight.
Yeah, I'm just
But
thinking it's funny
I've never
that like,
seen Twilight.
we keep coming back to Twilight actors,
know,
and
we
we're like,
do.
they're actually good.
That's
Turns
why
out.
Yeah, but like the actors, like yeah, I like her because I saw her in Happiest Season, which that's another movie. It's probably pandering to me. It's a bit. I'm within that target audience, I would say.
You like stories of people. You like seeing those stories.
It's a lesbian story. Yeah, it's a romantic lesbian Christmas story, not Halloween.
Well, she's she's trying to break the news to her parents about her identity and.
Well, and it's not, if you've seen it, it's not her breaking the news to her parents. It's her.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
that's right. That's right. I haven't seen. I saw the trailers and the movie.
I've seen the trailer.
Looks funny.
Yeah,
many times.
And I mean,
so, I get you get the gist of it though.
Honestly, the movie, it's not a particularly unique or different movie. It it was nice because like as soon as if you are anybody that watches a lot of lesbian movies, usually there aren't a lot of happy endings. They usually don't get together. They usually break up if they're in a relationship at all. Or a lot of times, which is probably more likely, is they spend the entire movie getting close to each other and almost getting together, but never actually getting together. And one of them usually ends up with a man or something.
Hollywood's got to keep its heteronormity.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It is stupid. I have things to say, but go for it.
But and this is a bit of a spoiler, although I think a spoiler like this for I guess a rather standard, I guess it's a Hallmark movie. I don't really know. Like it's a nice change of pace for the lesbians because they get a happy ending.
Yay!
And I was together, and I'm like, oh, I'm so happy about that.
And here at Nerd Variety, we believe everyone deserves a happy ending.
Yes. Most people, some people.
No one deserves a happy ending.
Every group of people.
No one deserves a happy ending.
There's no group of people who.
Every movie must end like Infinity.
No.
I mean,
no.
I I mean, I don't think like the Nazis deserve a happy ending or anything.
Okay,
but,
well,
No. Yeah, you're right.
that's
You're
true.
right.
They're jerks.
exactly. So,
fair.
That joke only goes so far.
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah, and like Kristen Stewart, I liked her in it. Like I noticed she was good. You know, again, it wasn't like a mega standout hit. I don't think it's going to be something that people write home about, but it was good. She was good. I really appreciated some of her outfits. I I enjoy that kind of thing. What can I say? But yeah, so Kristen Stewart, she's one that I think I'm gonna. I don't know how much I'm gonna go back and try to look at some of her work.
Yeah.
I think I've been told enough to try to avoid Twilight, but that was never going to be on my list in the first place. Especially since it sounds like for Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, those were the two things, or they were not given enough good stuff to do in those.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah,
she had a movie recently where she played a marine biologist or a diver. And it's kind of like a psychological, like thriller, horror movie. I don't know what it's called. It came out last year. I don't think it did very well, but it seemed interesting to see her, in that role.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, don't watch her in Snow White and the Huntsman. That's another bad one.
I think I did watch Snow White and the Huntsman, but I think I kind of slept through parts of it and didn't really get to the rest of it.
As most people would. It's not a very lively movie.
Yeah.
I just want to add on what you were saying earlier about lesbian stories in movies not getting happy endings. Is I feel like I've actually been seeing a lot of really good LGBTQ representation in cartoons. I watch a lot of cartoons, more than is normal for a 25-year-old. But I've seen a lot of like cartoons, and I love it because they're specifically geared towards children. I've seen a lot of cartoons that are trying to include more LGBTQ people and relationships, and just really paint them as normal. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and they are doing a good job at that. Like BoJack Horseman was another one that I always bring up, and it had.
Is that a kids show though?
No,
not
but it had
towards
good
kids.
Representation. It helped me, I would say, because a main character in there in like season 3, maybe 4, finds out that he's asexual, and that's another thing that I really enjoyed. I really appreciate it.
All right, Josh, we got time for one more.
I'm gonna actually do a double like I did last time.
Again?
These are two that I like kind of liked in the beginning, but now I'm like, nah, I don't want to, because I did kind of two that I was like,
okay,
only because they had the same role, and these guys are kind of similar.
But just know I'm not going to let you go on for 3 minutes with honorable mentions after this. Okay, you already had twice as many people as the rest of us.
Can I have? Well, okay. Anyways, Can I have one more after this?
Maybe.
And we won't
okay. All right, Charlie Sheen.
Okay.
All right, he was funny back in the day, but now watching his stuff now, I see him as like, well, especially 2.5 Men. A lot of stuff was written, kind of for him. It's like, kind of really, it's like a lot of it was kind of like, kissing his butt or just. He seemed like the same kind of person from the show, and seeing him in some other things, seeing him in how he's kind of been as a person in real life, it's like I would not want to be in the same room with him. I think I'm good. Another person which I have is Steven Seagal. Yeah, he's he's not great. He's not a great person. He was popular years back doing a lot of action movies. But now looking at some of his, like, he keeps trying to make action movies and he's not in action movie shape. And he has been revealed to be a pretty big creeper. I know he did a stint he did a reality show where he had a camera follow him while he was doing police work, but it just didn't seem enough to make him seem like a great guy or make anyone, or it seems like, okay, why are we still following him or giving him so much stuff or paying attention to him? He's not the movies he makes now are just really just kind of glorifying him. He makes them himself. He's just not worth following anymore.
He's like his own mini Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Like, this movie's about me. I paid for it. I directed it. I started it. I wrote it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
win.
Generally,
I win in the end. I get the girl.
Yeah. I just, in general, a little life tip here: you need to have people to tell you when you're doing stuff wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those people are good for you.
Yeah.
And good for everybody else on your behalf.
Yeah, and apologize if you have a big screw up.
Mm-hmm.
Take some time away and then reconsider, where you stand in, the public eye. It's like, okay, I shouldn't have done that. But I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna do different things.
Yeah.
And realize when I'm at it, when I can't play the action hero anymore.
Yeah.
Just stop, man. Just stop.
Constructive criticism usually comes from a good place.
Yeah.
We're just looking out for you.
Yeah. We're trying to keep you included, but everybody has their time.
Yep. All right. Do we have time for each person? I had an idea. What if each of us gives an honorable mention and gives no details? So if the audience wants to know, they'll have to ask us for a second episode.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I have one, if I can get mine out of the way real quick.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of details. Okay, so it's an actor who I have changed my opinion on, and maybe why or what it was.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I can probably just say the name. Jared Leto.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Mine is Angelina Jolie.
Okay. Josh.
Kristen Bell.
Oh, okay.
Kristen Bell. And now I'm actually even more intrigued because we didn't say if it's for the better or the worse.
Nope.
Yep.
No, we didn't. So if people want to know, they'll have to let us know if they want to know.
Please and thank you.
Right. Well, that sounds good. I'm excited now to hear a sequel to this. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it next season because
we're not doing it this season.
Huh?
No, because we're not doing it this season.
We're not doing it this season. As of now, we have 2 episodes left. Next week, we're talking about musicals, which we have been trying like all year, since maybe last year even, to get a guest on. One of our friends. We have 2 friends that would be good for this topic, and both are refusing to do it. So
yeah, I can also bring Sarah back.
You could. I'm fine with that. I'm gonna keep trying to convince Courtney, but I don't think she's so that's next week, musicals, and the week after is going to be our final week for the season, and that's going to be new tech, I believe.
Yeah, it's our Christmas episode.
Yeah,
talking about gadgets. Very excited.
So thank you guys for coming. We always enjoy this. We hope you do as well. Let us know. Contact us somewhere. However, send me a text and let us know if there are any actors that you've changed your opinions on and why.
Or if you want to know how I really feel about Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. Ask us to do a new episode. And thank you guys again. Until next time, nerd out.
Goodbye.
Nerd out.